Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got an interesting question. I like this question. This is good. I like when someone calls me out on my shit. You know, when you say, "Oh man, John, you're contradicting yourself," or "This doesn't make sense. You said this here, but you said this in another place." Because this is good. Because when there's confusion like this, it highlights usually like a deeper meaning. There's usually some reason why something at a surface level appears to be in contradiction. And some things in life are actual contradictions, right? I mean, people are contradictions. This is something interesting that I find that you find real depth when you look for contradictions and things. So I got this question from BG, and he says, how should your viewers handle all the contradicting advice or reflections on your channel? I like the assume. Go with the assume that there's contradicting advice or reflections on my channel. So I've got a video here. Let me see what video that he linked to. It is the video. Oh, here it is. It's called Contradictions of Life and Letting Things Go. Okay. So he says here that in this video, you talk about how not having a desire for something in turn leads you to live a life in abundance. I get the idea, but you end the video by saying you have to genuinely not care about the thing you want to have, then you will get it. Okay. At the same time, you have many videos where you talk about the importance of desire and how the want to have something can forge the way and make it happen. And he says, P.S. I believe I'm starting to get addicted to your channel. I am listening to hours of your material every day when commuting, eating, and working out. So, okay. So, BG, I have to tell you. All right. So, first of all, let's talk about contradictions in general. So people in life are contradictions. I think I've told this story before on this channel, but one of the things that I remember that my acting coach taught me, which has stuck with me for a long time, is I was trying to do this scene, okay? And I was just failing miserably at it. I think it might have been a scene from like Good Will Hunting or something, like we're acting in acting class. I'd memorized the scene. I just couldn't do it. And he told me, he said, John, look, here's the thing. Like, you're just playing sad, or whatever the emotion was. But people they're not just one-dimensional. They don't just have one emotion. People are contradictions. He said that a lot of times someone will be sad, but they'll also be happy at the same time, or they'll be sad and angry at the same time, right? And it's like, it's that contradiction that gives a character life, and that's what reality is. People have conflicted emotions, right? They're more than one thing at a time. So contradictions are an important part of being of playing a character, of being human, right? And so the reason why that stuck with me so much is because I realized that people are contradictions, and that situations in life are contradictions, and that sometimes you look at things from two different angles that are completely in opposition to each other, a contradiction, but both of them give you an insight, because it's not like, it's not like we have the ability to see the universal truth of things, right? But what we can do is we can look at things from different angles. And sometimes those different angles completely give us a different perspective or a complete different explanation for a thing. And that appears to us to be a contradiction at the surface level. Deep down, right, we know there's some unifying principle. Just like we know that quantum physics and Newtonian physics, right, that even though they're contradiction, I mean, they technically are, right? These things say, Newtonian physics says that this particle should behave one way, but quantum physics says another way, right? So they're a contradiction, but we know there's some deep down unifying field theory. There's some deep down way to resolve these contradictions. The same thing in life, the same thing, especially in philosophy. So if I come at you and I tell you something and you say, Don, you're contradicting yourself, good, right? I think it was, who's it that said, I contradict myself, good, I'm growing, or something like that. It was Ralph Waldo Emerson. There's a quote. I'll have to look up the quote. But anyway, he talked about contradicting himself, and it's good. You should contradict yourself if you're growing, by the way. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about, specifically what this particular contradiction of the idea of holding onto something loosely, not having desire for a thing, and that making it more likely that you're going to get that thing, okay, versus the idea here, which I've talked about a lot in videos, about the importance of having desire and how you have to have it in order to make something happen. So again, at a surface level, this seems like a contradiction, but here's the thing, is it's all about this, right? if you look a little bit deeper, what this is about is it's about having a focus, a clear focus on what you want, but not being so dependent on the outcome, right? So when I enter a situation, okay, let's say a business situation or even a relationship situation, I may have a specific outcome in mind that I want, okay? And I'm driving towards that like a fucking bulldog, right? You can check out my video on being a fucking bulldog. I'm a fucking bulldog. When I want something, I go and get it. I have a clear focus, a clear objective in mind of what I want and what I want to achieve. But I'm not tied to the result, right? So of any particular interaction, right? So I'm willing to walk. I'm willing to walk at any time, and I'm not invested so much in the result. I'm invested in what I can do. So again, this is, you know, the whole idea of trusting the process. And what trusting the process means is it means divorcing the results from the actions that get you the results, right? So what do you have control over? Do you have control over results? No, you don't have control over results. You do not. No matter what you think, you do not have direct control over results. You have indirect control over results through the actions that you do, okay? And so if you are so dependent on the results, if you're like, I gotta get this, all right? I gotta get this girl. I gotta get this business deal. I gotta accomplish this thing, right? Whatever it is, if you're so dependent on the result, I gotta be first place, okay? Then what happens is you choke, okay? You put too much emphasis on it. People see that. In a business deal, in a relationship, right? In any kind of social interaction, people see that you are more invested. Whoever is most invested loses. Remember this, in any negotiation, in any kind of relationship, in any kind of dynamic or frame control or anything like that, who's ever most invested loses. So you can't be most invested, right? So it's really hard. It is somewhat of a contradiction to have the drive, the bulldog fucking mentality to go for what you want, but not be invested in the outcome. So how does that happen? How does that work? It works like this. This is how it works. This is the resolution to this contradiction or the seeming contradiction, is that when I have the drive for something, when I'm attacking something, I am 100% focused on my actions, what I can control. I am doing whatever I can do as much as possible to make sure my concern is that I am performing at my peak, right? I am fulfilling my potential. That is all within my control. I have the right mindset. I'm taking the right actions. I'm doing the best of my ability, okay? Beyond that, I let it go. I'm going to give my best performance. I'm going to get on the fucking track and I'm going to run. And I'm going to fucking run my ass off as hard as I can. And you know what? If the medal goes to someone else, the medal goes to someone else. Whatever my time comes in, I don't have control over the time on the clock. I have control over how fast I move my feet. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so that's the whole thing. That's divorcing the results from the outcome. That's saying that I'm willing to hold on to things extremely loosely. Like if I want something, what I want, the energy that I channel is into my own actions. It's not into that result. Because so many people are like, oh, if I just want the $1 million. God, please. I just want to be rich. I just want the girl. I just want the whatever it is, this business deal. If I had this car, if I had this thing, right? And they're so focused on that result, okay? And that benefits them nothing. It puts too much, they're investing so much into that they're afraid to take risks. They're afraid to lose it all. They're afraid to walk away from the table. But when I come to the table, I'm attacking a 100% as hard as I can. But at the same time, if it doesn't work out, I'm as chill as I can be, right? I'm coming from an approach of, you know what, I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to give my best. But you know what, in the end, if it doesn't work out, if you know, if whatever I want as my result doesn't happen, it's fine. I'm willing to accept whatever the result is, whatever the consequence is for the action. I am only holding myself accountable to what I can do, and then fate determines the rest. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing here, is that you have to have clear goals. You have to have a clear focus. You have to attack things like a fucking bulldog and be willing to go after what you want. But at the same time, you have to be so divested from the result that you do not depend, you do not get hung up on that result and invest so much in the result that it causes you to choke, that it causes you to become overly eager, that you make mistakes, and that you become, I don't even know how to describe it, but nervous, right? That you become dependent on that result, right? The more that you're willing to let that result go and let it be what it is and focus instead on what you can control, your actions, the more likely you're going to achieve that result, okay? And that's the contradiction of it. That's the irony of it, if you will, is that you have to have both of those mindset. And it's a really hard one to hold in your mind, right? It's a very difficult concept to hold in your mind, to be so focused, to be so driven, but to be so, but when it comes to results, that you honestly don't give a fuck. You do not care if the results are come or not, right? I mean, obviously you're going to have some kind of, you want good results, but if your life is so good, like if your joy from your life, let me put it this way. If your fulfillment and your joy from your life comes on how well you perform and execute, not on what the result is, you're gonna live a life that's gonna attract a lot of good things to you, because people want to be around people like that, and you're gonna not go through so many ups and downs, right? Because results, fate is a fickle bitch. Fate will take things away from you, and it will give things to you. And sometimes you'll do the right action and you'll get the wrong result, and sometimes you'll do the wrong action and you'll get the right result. And so if you're dependent on fate, you're taking the control of your life and you're taking it out of your hands and you're putting it into the world, right? If I am only concerned about my actions and performing to my best and attacking life like a fucking bulldog, and I don't try to own the results, I try to let the results come as they come, then I am in control of my state. I'm in control of how I feel and how I feel about myself. And I'm not on the roller coaster ride of fucking life. I am on my own ride, and people want to be with me. They want to be on that ride. They want that stability that I'm bringing to life, and that creates more success for me, and it creates better relationships, and it makes me more likely to live the kind of life that I want to live and to get those results. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, there's a contradiction here. I see it, but I believe that the resolution of that contradiction is divorcing the process from the results that get you that process. So like I said, trust the process. Grab the t-shirt. You can check out the t-shirt. Like I said, the link is in the description below. And that's all I got for you. All right, if you like this video, make sure you click the subscribe button below. Don't be afraid to call me out on my shit. I always love it. And click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.